Good time zone, everyone, and welcome to a Bribe draft. I was going to hop off the air. I told everybody that I was going to just draft this and then stop playing because I had stuff to do this afternoon. And then Nantuko had to go and say how many subs to play out the draft. And I was like, how many subs to play out a draft rather than go do a bunch of boring stuff I don't really want to do anyway. I lied and said 25 when the answer was actually more like 5 or 6. And it worked. And I got 25 plus subs. And here I am. I'm going to have fun drafting with you all instead of doing boring ass crap this afternoon. So we're going to do it. Before I jump in, though, I'm going to thank my sponsor, CardKingdom.com. We got a hype train going here. Man, my hype train goes to the Card Kingdom station, and if you get off there, you're going to find everything you need for your physical tabletop Magic game. Take a look at their supplies, their singles, their sealed product. Their inventory is fantastic. Their shipping is amazing. Their customer support will be there for you if you have any issues, questions, or concerns. They stand by their grading. Their grading is among the more severe I've seen, so generally if they say it's lightly played, you know, it's going to be very lightly played, and I really appreciate them for that as well. I really appreciate them for being my sponsor all this time. It's been a great relationship with them. I appreciate what they do for the Magic community, and I appreciate their support here. If you want to show that appreciation, check out their store from my panel down below. Let them know you got there from here, and it helps this stream out a bunch. Thank you so much, Card Kingdom, for that support. And let's do this Bribe draft. Nice start. Nadir Kraken. Pretty easy slam over the gold Eutropia, or the what? The Final Death? Final Death is okay, but this is a bomb. We're going to release this Kraken to start. And we already have 4 of those, so this is just some gems here. Nice follow-up Chimera as well. Another Eutropia, but I don't see taking the gold Eutropia over a very build-aroundable Chimera. The Iroa's Blessing is nice, but this is on color and pretty excellent to get early and build around. So let's grab it. I have found that when I am blue-green, I do like a little splash. A little splash doesn't hurt. Helps with the removal especially. I find I'm probably Sultai more often than blue-green, if that makes sense. And here we have Grasp versus Witness. This is a real question here because if we take Witness, we can hard cut blue. Take Witness and we keep ourselves open to a second color, and we send great signals downstream to bots. And if this were a human draft, it would not be a question for me. I would snap the Grasp. It's the fact that this is a bot draft that makes me think about cutting blue. So I'm gonna take the Grasp anyway because it's that good. But you have a legit case to cut blue here. It would not be close if, let's say, there was 1 or 2 other high pick blue cards in the pack. So keep that in mind. But that's how close this is for me because of the bot messaging situation. But we'll take Grasp. It's so good, right? If we end up here, that's amazing. Well, I actually do kind of like an Omen here. If we do end up Sultai, omening to be able to splash a Grasp is a thing. But maybe it's too early to take an Omen. This might even wheel. Trouble is, there's just nothing really good here unless we want to spec towards white a little bit, which we could. White, blue, Aura Abuse, because Wayfarer and Chimera are good buddies. I think I'll pull this one. We can go, I think if we take a white card, I do want the Wayfarer over the Tactics. So we'll say Wayfarer. We can take Omen for the green Omen. No other Omens in the pack, right? No. If you think there should be, like, we could also argue for Relentless Pursuit or something. Temple Thief is... Yeah, I think it's just... You want me to put the Minotaur in... which one? We've got War Leader and Dream Shaper. Do you think we're Dream Shaping? I don't think we're Dream Shaping. I don't see any of these red cards as being the pick. I'm not even going to list them. I'm just curious about Wayfarer versus Omen versus Thief. And actually, I don't even need to poll. I think I've convinced myself. It's actually Wayfarer. I'm not going to poll. I think the Omen is not the right pick here because we're going to have time to figure out if that's where we're at. And Omens come so late. I'm just not worried about green Omens. I feel like every draft I'm green, I'm considering how many of my green Omens I want to play. And here we have an Envoy that could head us towards, again, a nice Pious Wayfarer, Chimera, cheap Envoy type spin through. Oh, we could take the Black Omen if we want to lean towards black, sure. This one I'll pull instead. Do you want to duck towards Envoy in white or Omen in black? I think that's the only choice. I don't want to pick up a red or green card here, and that blue card is garbage. So let's go Omen for the Black Omen and Envoy for the bird. Yeah, Omen and Chimera is good, but Chimera and any number of white auras is also good. We'll see. I'm willing to go either way. I'm going to let chat dictate this one because it's a pretty toss-up to me. We're just leaning black or leaning white, and I'll leave it to chat. I don't really care. I think it could go... I think it's a toss-up, so that's why I'm pulling it. Strong support for the Omen over the Envoy. All right. Here's another Omen. We've got a Stern Dismissal. We can also say, hey, maybe we're not in blue. Maybe we end up banking towards white-black even, and that's reasonable as well. We can just take another Omen, though. If we take Storyteller, we're really... Yeah, I think it's Omen or Storyteller, basically, what we want, because I don't think I want the Stern Dismissal yet. That just doesn't make sense to take here. So another white card or another Omen. I think I'll take Storyteller and we'll try and figure this out. Right now it's a little weird. We've got 6 picks and 2 of 3 colors. Sorry, I was checking out chat there for a second. Soul Reaper or Eyes, another situation where we have to figure out where we're headed here. Bringing the eyes up and down doesn't really actually do all that much. So like blinking, popping up the eyes with Chimera doesn't do much. I'm not very enamored with the Reaper at all. I'm going to take Eyes. I think Eyes is significantly better than Reaper in power level. So Cling to Dust, playable. Generally happy to run one of these. So is Leonin of the Lost Pride. They actually do similar things. But I like that this one does it while threatening life total. We have not found a decent blue card since the pick 2 Chimera. Let's keep that in mind. So I'm going to go Leonin, and we may have to give up on our blue, actually. Been an interesting draft that way. Although here's a Devourer of Memory that says maybe we can get back to the blue-black plan reasonably. Boy, we're getting pulled all over the place here. We can take Omen over Devourer in case we just want to drop the blue. Huh. Another pull. It's either Omen or Devourer. Devourer. I'll call it Memory. Omen or Memory. And Omen keeps us open to ditching the blue and still having good playables. But of course, the Omen plus Chimera is one of the combos we have. And if we take Devourer, we are setting ourselves up to pivot back to blue-black. But that would cost us 4 reasonable white cards. The Lost Pride isn't great. 3 good white cards and a filler. All right, nobody wants to hedge towards white-black here. We're going to confuse ourselves even more by continuing to spread out the power. I like Libation over Physician or Hubris here, and we could take Courser, I suppose. I guess if we end up in heavy white, we would rather have the Courser. Libation is pretty replaceable. It's fine. I would play this. It gets better as you have more removal anyway, but I'm going to run with the Courser here. I don't love the Esper idea. I think it's too greedy. Unless the splash is really doing something for you. Right now, I'm still looking at abandoning the blue. I think our most likely path at this point is white-black. White-black Aura aggro. Into that end, Temple Thief will play. Neither of these colors, but take the Wardens out of the picture. Temple of Malice, not a concern for us. We already have 4, and we don't need to worry about gem drafting on this account. However, if you are gem light, if you find yourself running out of gold and gems before you run out of passion to play Magic that day, consider taking the Temple of Malice for some gem boost. We are going to consider our different options. We've got Daxos, we've got Indomitable, we've got Piper, and if we're still looking to be in blue, the blue cards are not worth it here. So probably just Daxosing and heading more and more towards heavy white, light black, Aura, Orzhov aggro. Sure, to that end, another Mire's Grasp over a Final Death. We're drafting the hard way, folks, and it's good. You know, like, it's hard to let this go, but it just feels quite clear that this is what the bots are telling us. So we're going to listen. Pegasus is great. I'm cutting the cards and looking at our curve to understand where we're at. Given we have 2 Wayfarers and 3 solid 2-drops and a couple of 2-drop removals, yes, we can afford to take Pegasus over. Oh, but there's Liar. We should probably just take Liar. Yeah, sorry, I didn't even see the Liar. I immediately saw the colored cards and started thinking about that, but Liar's fine. Liar's better than fine. It's good. And here's a place where you can take a Soul Reaper. We could also just grab another 2-drop Leonin. And really, with Sentinel's Eyes and us wanting to be aggro, I think we do take the Leonin over what? Over this, again, Soul Reaper that I don't love. I'm going to take Leonin. Although I would run one of these. I'm going to stick to the cheaper option. Another Sentinel's Eyes, a Libation, a Tactics. I think we go Tactics here and look to get a little bit wider. I mean, we're about halfway through the draft here. And if we can get some white omens and some 2-drop heroes, it could really be what this deck is looking for. So yeah, let's take a Tactics. And here's that exact hero I was talking about. So we'll grab Hero of the Pride. Another Tactics, but there's an Omen also. I think we might want the Omen more than Tactics number 2, especially with nothing going on at 3. Nothing here. 2 Mire's Grasps and an Omen really does suggest that we are going to be light black, but we could also take a Prophecy here. Like, for example, if we took Prophecy and we did open a Dream Trawler in pack 3, I would switch to Dream Trawler, right? And the only other thing we could get here is like a hero for a pivot that direction. So we'll take Prophecy, put it in the board, but know that if we do get an absurd bomb in blue in pack 3, pick 1, we can reconsider whether we're black or blue in support of this white. And since we don't know that, though, I'm just going to take a fine but unexciting Rumbling Sentry. We don't have anything at 5. Maybe we get low down enough where we don't play this, but in case it matters, we'll take a Sentry. Yeah, Best the Sea God would move me into. I think Best the Sea God or Dream Trawler are good enough reasons to switch back to blue. And for that purpose here, we'll take a Wave Rider in case that happens. Boy, Chariot could go in this deck and actually be pretty decent in it. We don't have a lot of 4s going on. Omen of the Sun creates Cruise. I'm going to take Chariot over Deny. But I can't deny that we would play it if we end up back in blue. Eidolon, not so much, so I'm going to take the Vault Progress. Familiar. Playable. Mantle for our blue hedge. All right, what do you think? Is it going to happen? I think if it does, we're in the Matrix. But then if we're in the Matrix and it happens, it's like, maybe it means I'm the star, so that's cool. All right, we're not in the Matrix, everybody. Settle down. And with this garbage of a pack, we take, like, there's nothing really to take here. Indomitable Will would be nice. We're going to take Purphoros and build up our collection. Well, it is not... it is hardly... Dream Trawler, but Staggering Insight does not suck. Does Staggering Insight... Now I need to bring stuff back, at least to see where we're at. Because we do have some good stuff in here. I don't think we're ever playing Devourer because we're not giving up on our white at this point, but we can bring the blue back in and keep it possible. And then that Staggering Insight now suddenly gets pretty interesting. Drawing a card. This combos really well with Kraken. And we could end up with an Amulet and splash the Grasps. Yeah, we don't have much removal, but we would be pretty aggro anyway. Probably wheel Blessing for sure, maybe even Favored. Insight is just so good, right, developer? I was talking about Dream Trawlers, but this is a good reason to pivot back to blue-white, given the Kraken in our pile and the Chimera. So I'm going to do it. Insight, hedging. Whoa. This is Pack Terrible. Look at this garbage. We take a Mirror Shield, Unicorn to help aggro, Harpy in case we end up back in black and just want like Libation or Harpy. I'm generally in for playing Favored if you have reasonable triggers for it, but it's not amazing no matter what. I think we know we're playing white, and I'd play a Unicorn over a Sentry, so we'll take it. Nothing else there. This is interesting. Wayfarer number 3. We are getting pretty hyper aggro here on the if we do the black-white front. I think I like Wayfarer number 3 for that purpose. Fishify is fine if we want to be, if we're sure we're in blue. Maybe I should pull it. The reason I was leaning Pious is that, again, we know we're white, and we could easily still be black or blue. But I'll pull it. What do you want? We got Pious, and we've got Fish. I'm not going to take anything else here. Piper and Giant are not really in consideration. Fishify would give us removal no matter what direction we turn. But really this deck is, the white is proving to be aggressive enough that I think we're going to try and be aggro no matter what, making removal less important but not unimportant. Pick 4, we might actually wheel the Wayfarer. I think that probably puts me over the edge. We legit could wheel this Wayfarer. So I'm with you on Fishify because of that, because I think there's a strong chance of it. If this were pick 3, pick 7 or so, and we knew we were a little clear about where we were, I would just take the Wayfarer. But I think we can actually wheel that dude. Hero is great here. Another Devourer, but again, we are not really near that. I actually like a Familiar over a Naiad. We have another one, yeah. Because we have Staggering Insight, and once you have Staggering Insight, you just want these evasive drops as much as you can. So I'm going to take Familiar. Pilgrim, excellent. Wow, what a late pickup here. Pick 7. We only have one more fresh pack to look at. And we get another flyer to throw on an Insight, so I love it. Goal is a great pickup here. Courser. Courser is tough because if we're blue, we do want to have double blue. And I'm going to take Turtle because I think what we're trying to do here is classic skies now. We want to win up in the air if possible, or at least do some work up in the air. Well, this is Enchantment Fall, but what does that get us? Here's the curve. Looks good either way. But if we're done with black, I think we just take the Turtle. Maybe a Memory Drain forces its way in here. Probably just want Vault Progress, though. I don't think we're playing Memory Drain. Let's look at this curve. Something as clunky like this, though, can be good in aggro, where you're dumping out stuff early and then protecting your advantage. You want to sleep? Yeah, sure. Maybe we don't run it, but it only costs us some Vault Progress to spec. Might be a Chain to Memory deck, too. Well, I guess we're going to find out. I think I'd run Chain to Memory before Sleep, but yeah, it could be good for aggro. Maybe we try it. And might even play that for what it's worth. All right. Maybe make a note of this. My gem grind always reminds me to update my spreadsheet. That's a grind of 20. No, I don't think we're splashing. You don't really want to, oops, you don't want to splash an aggro, and we're going to try to be pretty aggro. In fact, we're cutting Sentry. We're definitely a 16 lander. Let's check our numbers. 1911. I like to keep our creature count high with Hero because we want to get value out of that. So let's try and keep our creatures up. Chariot's okay, but we can probably let it go. Is Wave Rider getting in for a lot? I guess we're riding some of the waves. Maybe we just cut the Unicorn to really keep it low down and tight. Cut a Chain to Memory. I think we'll try Sleep before we try Chain. So we'll try to hang on to the Sleep for now. 18. We could cut like the Wave Mystic or even the Turtle. I think since we're trying to be aggro, I'm going to cut the Turtle. And maybe that's our last creature cut. And now we find our least important non-creatures. Maybe, or maybe we cut Courser. Cut Courser, go to 16 plus the Omen, and reduce the tax on our colored requirements. And then we just need to find our worst spell. I do kind of want to try this Sleep. I think it's interesting that we want to try that, but maybe we just let it go. Oh yeah, sorry, I switched to deck building cam for you. Thanks for the reminder. I think I'll pull this last cut. Last cut. Pull 20. Sleep for Sleep of the Dead, and we give up on that experiment. Prophecy as being fine, but pretty wheel spinny for somebody for trying to be tempo. Oh yeah, let's see what else Pilgrim is getting, because that could be you. You may have found it. Like if we don't have any other auras, that no, we get eyes. So we get eyes and insight, and 2 is I think enough. Oh, and mantle 3 is plenty. There's our package. So prophecy, sleep, or oh yeah, Fishify. It's kind of weird, right? There's nothing jumping out at us. So like, how did you even get into white? Bad packs. Like I think the first white card we took was a Wayfarer, and then just yeah, we didn't. Nothing was really flowing, and we ended up at the first pack kind of evenly split between white, blue, and black. All right. Anyway, sorry, trying to finish this poll. Is there any other nominations? We tried Sleep, Prophecy. I guess we could cut even one more creature if we wanted. But I'm gonna call it Sleep, Prophecy, or Other. If you think we should be cutting something else, let me know and we'll talk about it. Prophecy's fine. It's just very wheel spinny for as aggressive as we're trying to be. How about this? I'm going to listen to chat and we're going to cut Sleep because it is, come on, most of us don't think of this as particularly playable, but this could be the place for it. We will try at 2 losses, remind me, and we'll come in and Sleep if we hit 2 losses. And then we're going to call this one. First, I'm going to go done. Okay, this is a bribe. I got bribed to play, and we've got some pride. We got a lot of part of the pride here. So maybe something about pride and bribes. No, we have eyes as an escape card. Proud bribe, sure, whatever. How about this? Hero of the Bribe. That's pretty good, Ness. I like that. I think we all know who the hero of the Bribe is, right? Nantuko. Oh, we had a land request, right? Let's. What was it? I'll take that land request. I forget. It was Tempest. Now I gotta find Tempest lands. Mirage? No. Somebody. I thought somebody said Tempest, but maybe I don't have any. I don't know. Is Tempest not on here? Maybe I misremembered. Old lands. Well, that would be Mirage then. Let's just do Mirage then if you're looking for old landage. I do love the Mirage lands. All right, love it. We're going to go ahead and put insight right on the hero if we can. And then maybe bounce it up to put on a flyer afterwards. Oh, Wayfarer, you're like a turn late, buddy. Oh, you're a turn late. If this hand had started on a Wayfarer curve out instead of where we're at, oh, so much better. But we'll go ahead and drop the hero. If we find a plains on top, we get Wayfarer into Insight anyway, so that would be good. If we find an island on top, we get to consider a Kraken. Or we have nothing. Let's see, I don't think they can't counter anything, and I guess, let's see, what they could do. They could do Blessing. Yeah, they could do Blessing to eat, I suppose. I could, with that in mind, delay a turn if we think White Blessing is going to create a trade we don't want. That's my only concern. We get a 4/3, but then Blessing is real bad news for us. I'm going to play it KG this turn. We're going to send in with no Insight, and we're going to drop a Wayfarer. Yeah, Blessing. Well, Blessing is not bad news if they're tapped out, right, Bieber? And Oppo is. Most people have to tap out in their early turns to cast stuff on curve, so it's highly likely or highly possible that we have attacks next turn into a tapped out opponent. Although they may keep bounty mana up, so. I mean, look at this. They're attacking their 1/1 into our 1/2, so yeah, we're going to say no blocks and see what they want to do. Now, if it is, let's see, if it's like White Omen, do we care? Yes. If it's a counterspell, that would not be great. So let's go with the familiar. If they counter it, not the end of the world, and whereas I really don't want to lose the Insight of the Kraken, so we're going to lead with a less important thing. I'm going to do it pre-combat, both to check for the pause and to because if we do this and there's a pause and they don't counter, it probably means that Omen again. So we can actually think about that. That's fair, Tryptamine. I like keeping the Wayfarer around given the synergies we have, especially if a Chimera gets going. I'm going to bottom that, though. We want to find some extra land. Okay, so now we've got the choice. It does kind of feel like White Omen. But if we get that out of the way and next turn we can Staggering Insight, that's going to be fine. So I'm going to give him a chance to Omen us here. No Omen? Maybe they have a Thirst? Oh, that could not have gone better. A little nerve-wracking, but Oppo not doing anything with their turn 3 mana is fantastic for us. Let's also note that the auto tap lets us know that they do not, in fact, have the White Blessing. I like Insight with Tactics, and we put this on the familiar. And I'm going to make the Wayfarer bigger so that we can threaten an awesome Tactics here as well. Ooh, let's just do it this way. Oh, no, let's do it this way. I was thinking of doing it on the Pride, but we do it here and we actually save the Wayfarer. If I had done it on the Pride, we would trade off the Wayfarer, and I didn't want to do that. Fantastic. If this familiar can live and we can play this Sentinel's Eyes, I think we just take it from here. Did we? Oh, okay, maybe I did the math wrong. Chat sure says I did. Uh, 3-5 doesn't quite do it. That's true. Wayfarer trigger is good. Thanks. So many. Yeah, this is a set with just a lot going on, right? We've got to keep in mind. Okay, they can't bounty this turn. They don't have the mana. We have a Wayfarer trigger. We have. Oh man, there's just a lot going on. But I think we go Kraken and Eyes. And put him to a test. Mantle, obviously great. If we can land Chimera and keep all this stuff intact, it's going to be tough for Oppo. But let's see what they've got. I like familiars when I've got the insights in the deck. Staggering Insight and Familiar are good buds. Pay for that. So, we can make this 4-6, and then the Wayfarer makes it a 5-7. We cannot do it all this turn, though. So I'm going to, let's see. Well, we Chimera, and it's a similar situation. I wonder if I should have not paid for this, and then we'd have Chimera and Mantle. But let's go with Chimera and Hold. Like, there's nothing that we can do that gives us an attack here, right? I mean, I'll put it on the Familiar just in case, but... Oh yeah, they're at 6. We could just YOLO it. So if we force them... Let's see what a YOLO looks like. We attack in. They kind of have to bounce this. They have to chump this. Let's say they chump here, and then they're going to save the Witness, or, you know, save something. And then, let's say, and we get 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's not quite enough. Let's do it next turn. Important to check. I'm glad we checked, but if all of this stuff stays intact by next turn, Oppo has not yet shown the ability to answer any of this, then I think we are in amazing shape. And them playing one big blocker is pretty good for our efforts here, because we're going to be able to target the Hero of the Pride. Like, we can bounce. Sentinel's Eyes. Oh, wow. Let's make sure we have mana for it all. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we pay 5 here. And we still have mana for it all. Right? Yes, so we can... I don't think it matters, but... Making sure. I'm going to go Eyes on Hero. Yeah. They didn't even need to see the Mantle. Oh, look. I just noticed where I am. I'm in my deck building view. I'll hang it over here for the next one. Oh, I don't think there's sleeves on, but I'm happy to switch sleeves after this game. Not enough going on here. We're gonna mulligan. This is a fine-ish keep. I guess we give up on the familiar here. We can do Storyteller as well. Like, it's those two. It's one of these two. But Storyteller, I feel like maybe gets back Fishify or whatever. And we don't have any of the real combo cards for the familiar. Yeah, I'm going to ditch the familiar. I was bribed, D. I was bribed. Blame Nantuko. Oh, Wayfarer, you keep showing up a little bit late, buddy. A little bit late. Let's see. Do we want to... we'll max our mana, though. Let's just drop the Mystic. Zoinks! Well, if Uro comes back, we'll try and Fishify it and then win through the air. How about an island off the top, though? Well, find an island, we could have a nice turn 3 as well. I'm going to take this trade. Alright, at least we have a land to play, so we'll drop the Wayfarer. Gotta self-mill. You can't mill an opponent with an Uro actively in the graveyard. Might have to Fishify that and just hope we keep him off Uro cards. We could also just send in the Wayfarer and see if they're silly enough to block, because we do have the Phalanx Tactics that would make it a 3/3. So let's at least give them that chance first. Not shocking that they declined. So maybe I could have Fishified first. If we really thought that they were not going to do that, maybe we just take the extra point of damage. But I gave them a chance to make a mistake. Some people just make that mistake, you know? Yeah, that's true. Then they just block with it, so it didn't really do anything. Ooh, not great. And let's see if they find... yeah, rough. Alright, alright. We do get to get it back with the Storyteller, though. And the Storyteller blocks decently as well, right? It's in there, right? Yeah. Oh, where'd the Fishify go? Did it get exiled? Oh, it bottomed. Never mind, sorry. I forgot what they used. There it is. Okay, so we can't do that. So... we could do Prophecy plus Tactics. There's nothing for us to get back here. So if we play a 3/4, it's just for defense, which it does defend here, and they're down to this. They're down to top decking, so we can top deck and hope, or we can Laguna Band and hopefully they find land, but also Phalanx Tactics, making a 3/3. It doesn't really help. I'm not going to Tactics and block. So I am going to Storyteller, and hopefully they don't have a creature, and we stabilize here. We just want Oppo to draw land from here, and then we have a chance, but rough-looking board. Didn't deal with Renata. They countered the effects of our removal, and we're back to... feeling a little bit tight. A little tight. Get this going, though. Could change everything. Go wide forever and then tactics. Maybe I should have upgraded tactics in our pick considerations given the Kraken. Yeah, they're going to be activating the Grove Dancer from here. If they don't have action, they'll activate the Grove Dancer until they can Uro. Oh, that is the wrong land. Let's see. Do we get to scry 2? I guess we scry 2. Try to find ourselves in Island. 4/5 doesn't even get through the Wardens, but I'll throw it there anyway. Wowie, we could keep Daxos. Definitely ditching this Plains. Daxos gets us a pretty big butt in this spot. I don't know if it's Uro big, but 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's a 2/4. Yeah, not quite Uro big. I think I'm going to give us a chance to find that island. I know we can't name something safe for prophecy, but we're going to name Kraken and hope. Or we could name Phalanx Tactics and turn this into a draw 2, you know, divination. Probably will do that. Yeah, but we have to name our card before we know whether we're going to hit that island, so it's a little dicey. Yeah, Daxos and Kraken are interesting. That's fair. But we don't have the Kraken if we don't find an island, so... No, oh, yeah, it's a saga, so we do draw first. Good call, chicken. We get one more look before we have to draw, before we have to decide what we name. Well, we have the tactics. Why are they attacking with this and nothing else? Because they want to cast Uro? Is this just a, I will sacrifice this to resolve Uro this turn? Uro is, how many others? 5 others. Well, that doesn't even do it. We can block here and, oh, they block, we block, they self-mill? 1, 2, they can't self-mill and do it either. I'm going to block. I know they're just trying to get Uro out, or I think they are, but if they have a trick, we also have tactics available. So I'm gonna do it. We're gonna have to beat Uro anyway. I guess we get Leon and the Lost Pride at least. But if we name it, we can't play it this turn. So I'm actually going to go with Phalanx Tactics, I think. And we drop Pride this turn and ready the Tactics next. think that's correct. I'm not going to bank on finding an island. We are up against it here, but tactics has some value. But if we use it here, we don't draw 2, so we're probably just taking whatever they do here and then decide how we want to approach the tactics turn next turn. Because again, what I've done is turn our tactics into a 2-mana divination more than anything. But given the Uro, that's kind of what we need. I forget what's in... I know we don't have a ton of removal. We got like a Fishify. Liar would help with Uro. Not immediately, but eventually. It looks like Fishify is our big out here. Not really much else. Oh, we know it's on the bottom. I forgot that. You sure are right. Yeah, so actually we're looking for Heliod's Pilgrim. Yeah, we need to get some Kraken chumps going. We need to try to trade for Renata here. Doesn't seem super likely, but we'll try. And we'll try and bounce off this Wardens and just take 11. Block Uro with Pride. How would we... You just want to put everything on it and try and kill it? I get it. I think I'm going for other... Like, I feel like if we triple block Uro and Exile, then we take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11... And our board is literally empty. 4, 5, 6, 7. We could tactics. Well, too late now. Well, if we use tactics, what does it accomplish? Tactics doesn't save this. We could save well, the storyteller's not dying. Yeah, it's not a tactics moment. I've made my bed here, and I'm gonna lie in it. Oh, come on, deck. All right, well, we're going to tactics and hope to find an island and play Chimera or Kraken. And we'll go ahead and, I guess, tactics the storyteller if there's... Well, actually, I guess if we're going to attack with something, it would probably end up being the Wayfarer somehow. Although tactics on storyteller does give enough power, ostensibly, to get through the Wardens. All right, and there's our island that we have been wanting. What do we do here, though? We may need to Wave Rider just to offer something that can combine with Storyteller to threaten some blocks, and then get our actual quality cards going next turn. Although the Laganaban Storyteller also can drop to a 3/4, and a 3/4 plus a 1/2 gives us 4 power on the double block. And if we double block 4 power, I mean, take this out, but then we're just dead to this stuff, so that doesn't work. Yeah, I think we go Shimmerwing. Not necessarily Nantuko. Wait, does this have trample? If it does, then you're probably right. But this doesn't have trample. We can do this. Come on, Nantuko.
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
I see where your real head is at, Nantugo. So we have a bounce off of the Wardens or a double block. We Wayfarer, Storyteller, or we Chimera, Storyteller on Calliope. All right, or now I think we're pretty darn well done. In fact, is there any hope? Let's see. We have to block their two biggest things and chump to survive. Not going to be enough. I don't think we have draws that get us out of this. Oppo's deck is great, and we didn't find our second blue in time. Maybe if we got Kraken going, we could have done something here, but not going to get there this time. I guarantee you they are inside the building, Yankum. I don't know if they will, but certainly it's got to be under discussion. This is a great start. Pious Wayfarer into Insight. It might trap Insight on a creature that stops being able to get through, but what a turn two. Pilgrim gives us action on 3 as well. Fantastic. That did not suck. And Oracle's not even good enough to stop this, so we get to keep attacking. Familiar. I guess I like Familiar over Pilgrim here. We can Pilgrim for Eyes next turn. Let's look what we can get with Pilgrim. Because next turn we can go Pilgrim Eyes and play the Eyes. The other thing we can get is Fishify, and we could also just get Fishify and know that we have good removal next turn. But I think Pilgrim into Eyes is going to make the Wayfarer big enough to get through whatever they do anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and play our Familiar. Good scry. Tactics is a fun draw. Now we can consider Wave Mystic and Tactics. I'm just going to play the Plains, split our stuff here. So if we Tactics the Wayfarer, what happens? We get a 4/4. 4/4 still dies to the trades with the Chimera. If we go Pilgrim Eyes, we get a 3/4 that then gets a counter and becomes a 4/5. 4/5, if they want to trade for, they've got to put both of their creatures in front of, which I think is worth it, especially since we can then follow with Eyes up on the Familiar. So I'm going to make sure auto tap doesn't screw us and go with the Eyes play. We'd also get, I forgot we have Mantle. It would stop us from being able to do anything this turn. I'm going to go do the Eyes play. I think if they want to give us Chimera and Oracle for the Wayfarer, it's worth it. And they kind of have to. I don't know how they can take 4 and this damage. So we are effectively saying that we're happy with this trade. But with Wave Rider and Tactics, oh wow, okay. I think that's fantastic for us. Between the lifelink and the card draw. All right, I can see why they did then. They're like, well, we've got the blessing, so we can take it out next turn. That makes some sense. I mean, you can see why now. They figured they have a chance if they take out our big insightful flyer. Or not flyer, but insightful dude. I'm gonna go with Wave Mystic, no eyes? No, we might as well go with eyes, right? I was thinking eyes because it would... You know, we should wait on eyes because it makes the Wave Rider fly next turn. That's really the deal. And then if we make Wave Rider fly and Tactics everything next turn, I think we just punch in and win. We get eyes and Tactics next turn, no problem. Which is going to launch the Wave Rider. We already have the Flying Familiar. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 just from that. And then Tactics gives 6, 7, 8. So right now we have Exaxes. Well, we have... If Pilgrim gets through, we have 9. 10. But assuming that these are the only 2 that get through... All right, so they got a decent block. We're gonna kill it, but they do have a block, right? We have, oh, maybe yeah, eyes on Familiar, and Tactics means we get to kill the Wardens no matter what. So we're gonna put the eyes on the Familiar. And I'm going to remember, here, this is one of my leaks, folks. This is one of those times where something I've been leaking on is, like, not attacking with something like a Pilgrim in this spot. Missing that extra damage, but I'm not going to miss it here. And I'm going to make sure that it's correct, because another thing I've been doing is attacking when I shouldn't and leaving myself exposed to a crackback win. But I don't think they can have a crackback win, especially since we're going to... Oh, the life gain is gone. We're at 14. This is fine. So we have, because we can follow with the Towering, Wave Mystic, and Familiar. So we actually have blockers to follow with, or 1 at least, assuming we Tactics here. So I'm happy I'm remembering my leak at the right time and really checking that out, making sure I got the right stuff happening. Here we're going to go for the greater damage to face, because all we need is 1 more point on the Wave Rider, and Tactics gives it that. So we can get a little extra damage here while still taking out the Wardens, and then we get to drop the Familiar for additional flyers and scrying, so scrying is nice too. Omen. Yeah, that's keepable because it launches the Wave Rider. Oppo has enough. Well, that all started from the Wayfarer into Insight play. Yeah, Familiars are hardly exciting, but boy do they wear an Insight well. And they wear an Eyes well, frankly, as well. A 2/4 Flying Vigilance is a hot card. I forget, did I add this to decks? I don't think I did. I'll do that. All right, going first again. Looks fine. Need some land, but if we get it, we're golden. Commanding Presence, also great on familiar, yep. Well, you definitely want to pump power and have combat damage triggers, right? I mean, that's the key of calling out Commanding Presence specifically. No more drafts after this one. No, this is my second draft of the day. What do you mean, like deck name? What do you mean good name to great name? Got to iterate on those deck names, right? There's always a good one floating in there somewhere. Sometimes I don't, though, right? Sometimes you just submit a bad one and never correct it. But certainly Marshall always appreciated me as the show namer. If you go through my run on LR, I named every one of those episodes, and they are the best episode names in LR. My Chef's Kiss LR episode name is when we wanted to dismantle the concept of bread and fix it and get people off of thinking about bread, and it was called Breaking Bread. Come on. That was my best one. Eyes? Well, we cannot do anything about that here, but we do get to goal before we untap. And I guess we can put him to the test and just kind of do a quick attack in here, and we can mantle either way and be pretty happy. I'd like to get the Kraken down, but I'd take out the Envoy if they want to do some silly blocking. Looks like Oppo's not into the silly blocking. So we're going to make him have something for the Kraken. They might. But let's put him to the test. Kill this thing, or it'll get out of hand quick. Sometimes you lead with something that you want him to remove, but the Storyteller has great value getting back, like Fishify and Mantle. So I just wanted to put him to the test to have premium removal. They did. They did. But not the worst result. Yeah, maybe we could have held it for the Mantle. We did have Mantle in hand. Maybe that was yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't think that through. I think with the Mantle and the known mana, we could have gone with a Storyteller and protect. Oh, but we couldn't protect it, right? You mean 3. That's what you're saying. Yeah, I guess if we had 3, I would have done it, but clearly I wasn't thinking about it. So I didn't even think about it, but I don't know if that's because I didn't see it or because it wasn't seeable since we needed 3. I'm going to play this, and now maybe it is time to Fishify. We still have the Mantle play. I'm going to attack in and have the Mantle play ready. And I'll just Storyteller for no value here. A little sad, but a 3/4 is fine on this board. Well, fine. It doesn't attack through a wall, but it helps a hero attack through a wall. So, yeah, not great, but let's do it. There's that annoying presence. But you know what we're going to do? We'll Fishify it, and unfortunately it doesn't, like, stop the auras from doing their thing. Let's make sure it's worth Fishifying. So we turn it into an 0/1 from a 1/2, and they still get a 3/4 first strike. But that does bounce off the Storyteller, so I think it's worth it. It also does let our goal attack now. We could even send everything, because we have the Mantle Hero play. We have the Mantle play. But I think I'm just going to send the goal now, and we'll try potentially getting them on their attack in. I don't think they'll attack in, though, with the 3-4 and the 2-2. We'll see. That's interesting. I guess it does lose the abilities. Okay, I don't know how magic works is the answer. Is it a layering thing? Or would it happen, like, here's a question for you guys who know the magic rules better than me. If the sequencing on this creature had been, we put the Fishify on it, and then they put the Commanding Presence on it, would it have the first strike and stuff? Is it because of the order, or would that happen no matter what? I'm not sure. Okay, thank you, Nandugo. 25 years later, I don't understand layers, so I'm trying to feel out that that rules layer. And when you say timestamps, Sir Elgar, are we talking about the same thing? Are layers and timestamps the same? Are synonymous? Oh, I guess Wind Raven says it's not layers. Timestamps are a different thing. Different but related. Okay, thanks everybody. We don't need another hero. I'm going to keep attacking in the air while we got good attacks. I'm also going to do white, although since it didn't auto-tap to this, any thinking opponent knows that the double blue counterspell is not a real thing here. Closing in on a Starlit Mantle Alpha. Yeah, okay. Interesting, they flickered the Commanding Presence. Where are they going to put that that's useful? They could put it back on the Envoy. Oh, that doesn't seem good, though. Why would they put it there? Maybe they have something else for it? I don't know. Let's find out. Okay. Well, they got wide enough there that we don't really have the alpha that I was hoping for. I mean, if we swung in... Yeah, I'm just going to keep on the flyer here. We got Mantle to protect it. We're going to add another flyer to the table. Do we want another one? I mean, they don't have flyer blocking right now, so I think we just keep it. Hopefully it's enough to get there. Got good blocks on the ground. Not against the Hierophant, but we can take 3. And yeah, we'll Mantle and protect our goal. It increases its clock power too. Weird. Seattle Public Schools. Maybe they're calling to tell us they're finally gonna shut down school. Seattle Mayor's like, no gatherings over 250 people. Seattle Public Schools like, come on to school. I'm like, what's... Doesn't make any sense. No block, don't give them a draw. What do you mean by that? Let's see. I mean, I don't want to block. I just don't know what the draw comment means. Oh, Eidolon, sure. But yeah, got you now. I just didn't want to put anything of ours at risk. But we didn't have a block. Like, it doesn't kill it. Like, this was tapped, right? Oh, but this is on the ground. Sure, we could have blocked it on the ground. I saw this envoy and thought of it as a flyer. You know what I mean? All right, let's go ahead and swing in the air. And we'll take another look at the top. All right, they found another apathy. We still have them on a 2-turn clock. That's why I kept the flyers. Like, okay, if they answer the goal, we still have some pressure in the air. Can they answer another thing or produce a flying defense? That's the question now. Useless draw, but they're still on that clock. Hold. Hold. Yes. Yeah, it seemed like their win was to get me dead before I could find the air damage, but they didn't pressure. Do I find best of one too easy? Magic is never too easy. All right, sometimes it's game by game you can have an easy game, but no, it's still difficult Magic. I mean, I don't know why it would be easier exactly, but this is a good keep. If Oppo has any kind of stumble, we're going to smash him with cheap 3 power. Ideal draw would be like a nice 3-drop, maybe even that the 1/3 flyer. Then we can find ourselves a land and either 2-spell or 4-drop on 4. Again, I don't mind the remorse. Our power is pretty spread out here. We've dropped 3 power on board, and they haven't put a creature to block it. And we get to add another. Oh, wow. No island yet, but a friendly-looking draw. Also play 3/1 before hero to max our damage before they get defenses on board, right? I mean, I win more in best of 3 because, I mean, you say it's easier because of higher variance. I find best of 3, I guess, easier because of lower variance. Yeah, we'll happily offer up a Leonin for that there Reaper. They don't know about this Kraken yet. I mean, we could play it and then untap and draw a card, but I think I'm going to go with the Wave Rider and see if we can't draw out removal. They may, yeah, they can't like Lamprey us for our last 2 cards or anything. And if we draw a land, then we can go Kraken plus hero next turn. So I'm going to do that. It baits out removal and it sets up for a double spell on a land draw. No land draw, and this time though I'm not gonna mess around. We'll Kraken it, and we'll offer up Leonin again for a Temple Thief. Now we'll put him to the test. Five mana could mean final death online for the first time. So even though we were trying to bait out removal, this could be the first opportunity they have to cast their good removal, but still, we weren't going to wait on Kraken anymore. And there you go. We have a 2-spell turn next turn, no matter the draw, though, so they got our bomb, but we are adding to the board at a nice clip and really pressuring them. We can get another hero, which I think makes sense. They don't have anything on the board yet, and we're going to drop them to 7 right here. So let's keep everything that represents any kind of attacking action. Yeah, we have to hold if we want to draw 3. We'll see what they do here. All right, since they ate to extinction, now we have a real question. Because if they hadn't done that, I wouldn't have bothered. I would just go... I would go in... We could also just guess... What do we have 2 of? We could guess Pious Wayfarer... or Familiar. Thaumaturge is Familiar to have a best chance of lucking into a card name. Interesting question. With them at 7, you want to just go not play a threat? I mean, maybe they play something that blanks both of these. Yeah, Dream Trawler, make him scoop. All right, we'll go Hero the Pride and wait. I'm not sure about this, but I'm gonna give Mike the nod here. He's a clever guy, and I'm curious if what I'm curious about is if Oppo indeed plays something here that blanks 2/2s, because if they don't, and I don't want to be results oriented, it's just the data point, and like the big question about that choice is whether or not they're gonna have something to block heroes with. Looks like maybe they have both. All right, they didn't, so it looks like we could have played the hero and been in a little better shape, but again, I'm not being results oriented, I'm just observing this data point. All right, they're gonna double trade for their Omen, and we get to drop another hero. They're down to 1 card, but they do get a Scry here, so I'm expecting them maybe to upkeep Scry. We'll see if they remember. There's the type of card that made Mike want to go for the cards. Insight is basically a forced block, but then we haven't gotten anywhere, so I'm going to hold here. I'm going to play the island. If they do have Aspect of Lamprey, I don't want to lose it for no reason. But if we can find something else to augment the hero or find one of our flyers, we'll be very happy that we kept an Insight. Yeah, and if they swing in, that's great as well. Now we really want a flyer. We're never getting through with the hero on that board. Does give them an attack, though. Although, okay, now we can. We can play Insight and force a chump. But then they chump, and then they keep this back. So I still want a flyer and hold the Insight if possible. Now it's a trade again. All right, we'll go Liar and hope for a flyer. Let's see what they do with this. You should still wait. I might play something else that gives them some info. Unfortunately, we cannot bring down the Marauder right now. But yeah, we'll tap the 2/2 and then get the 4 power on our next turn, and then see if we want to Insight or not. Alright, I'm just going to tap now. Although the reason I waited is because if they find something like an enchantment, we can make them not put it on the thief if that's where they want to put it. So I'll let them do this still. I will do it for 3. I can't think of what instant speed thing pumps the power by exactly 1, but since I don't know, I'll just do it. Yeah, there you go, Will. Good call. Now untap. If we insight, they really do just chump, but we're running out, you know, classic. Do we have to insight? And we get life out of it, though, and we get to tap down Marauder. So we'll do it. I like Hateful or Pilgrim there. Hateful pick 1 is nice to build around. Well, I'm expecting another big creature here, or else I doubt they would have attacked with both. I guess maybe they have another Omen. Another Omen of the Sun could explain it as well. It gives them a triple block that could actually just trade for the hero, and gives them chumps in the case that they can't. We're gonna take this action. Well, do we? Let's see, we have 7 total mana. If we untap it, we can start tapping down the 4/3. And most of our stuff is cheap anyway, so we can probably tap for 4 and draw something to play. So I'm going to take the action. There you go. Really worried about the hero. Let's start actually with, let's see if there's a response pause to this. Actually, we can go 6. I'm doing this to see if there's a response pause. And there wasn't. Okay, so that makes me feel good about attacking. Oh yeah, I could have tapped the 1/1 and draw. That would be interesting. I did want to lock this 4/3 down, though. We are in a bit of a race here, even with the lifelinker. Don't want to overpay too much, because if we draw, we want to be able to cast what we draw. So I'm going to overpay by a couple and go 4 on the favored. Even though we're not seeing that telltale bounce, we could also offer them the pious if they want to give us a card. Yeah, I think I'm in for the... Yeah, just hero. Yeah, I changed my mind. I don't want to offer the pious. It's actually pretty good for our deck here. Let's let him off, take the temple, or give us some cards in life. Nice. And I'll sandbag the land. And even if we wanted to go full control here and make him think we might have that bounce an opponent's creature. Thought we like had this one, then Oppo kind of turned the corner. Now we're turning the corner back. Oppo agrees. There's the Liar, being the all-star we know it can be, helping both aggro and control. That's what I figured. Y'all might have heard that I got a phone call. I saw that it was from Seattle Public Schools. I assumed that schools were closed. Yeah, I don't know if it's great for the game that it exists, D, but if they're going to have it, we need to take advantage of it, right? Set stops in all phases. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, because full control is so stoppy that you can tell when someone's in full control versus an effect pause. We're going to keep this. Still looking for that magical island number 2. But can't not play this. We're going to run out of planes. We might draw a Daxos, so we'll start with the planes. Ah, Hero. Thank you. You're on time, Hero. Appreciate it. Well, I'm going to put my son to work on some memes then, right? Do some homeschooling. Family business. We've run out the Kraken a couple times this event, but this has happened more than once too. Have the Kraken have 3 mana but not 2 blue. I mean, that's why it's 2 blue. But we'll just do a familiar and look for that island. There it is. Welcome, friend. Now we can talk about being cautious again. We can run out Chimera or Storyteller to fade out removal. I think I like doing that. Well, we got a Typhon to deal with. I guess maybe we could even just Fishify the Typhon. But then they'll block it and eventually get it back. I'm going to go Chimera, attack with the Flyer here. Ugh. Gross. Now maybe we need to let that Commanding Presence land and worry and Fishify whatever they put it on, which may be Siona, which gives them a creature. I don't know. I think maybe we're just in a racing situation here with tactics, and we can go Mystic and have tactics. We can go Storyteller. Nothing to bounce yet. I guess with tactics, let's start with a full-on attack and then see if we want to Fishify anything or play more to the board. All right, well, they want to do this. I'm going to go ahead and do the tactics then. Let's pump everything else by a couple, and then we can drop Towering Wave and have pretty good aggro going on. That's a big chunk of damage there, and we keep our hero, and we still have a play. There's a world in which we target our own hero with Fishify if it gives us a win, because it would trigger the hero's ability before turning it into a no ability 0/1. Or 1/1 in that case. I think. Could be another layer thing. Don't ask me. I just play Magic. I don't judge it. Actually, I'm very judgy about Magic. But I'm not a literal judge of Magic. Staggering! Indeed, staggering. But where do we stagger? We can stagger on the hero, and then we get a kind of a must block in the air, and the hero makes it through and a must block on the ground. Yeah, let's just do stagger on hero. I think that we might even draw a land if we connect with it. No, I guess we can't do anything anywhere else pre-combat. Anyway, we're gonna do hero stagger. Swing away. If we send the Mystic, they can eat it with the hero if they want. But then they're taking 6 in the air and the hero. So I'm going to go ahead and send in the Mystic. It doesn't matter. They can have it if they want. I want them to. Yeah, do it. Love it. Wow, we even got our eyes. For next turn on the hero. So looking good. They really need to take out the hero of the Pride and our flyers. It's a lot to ask. If they go... And if they put something on... Like, they could put Commanding Presence on the hero, but then we have Fishify the hero and Sentinel's Eyes next turn, so I don't think they're going to get there here. Yeah, that's what I expected. But that play is not going to be good enough for them, unfortunately. And we can even bounce the staggering... Oh, now we have to, oh, they're going to do that. All right, all right. So, if we bounce the staggering, we can't do Fishify and Sentinel's Eyes, so we're just going to submit 0. Just to be sure, I'm going to Sentinel's Eyes too. Oh, I guess they're tapped out, so it doesn't even really matter. Now I'm just wasting time. It was already certain they were tapped out. Good thing Oppo knew. Oppo said, don't waste my time, and scooped it up. And we made it to 5 wins. Very nice. And platinum. Hello. Boy, this one's cruising too, so buying my time for another draft is working out for me too, because it's actually not taking that long. I'm going to have a nice full afternoon of boring adulting waiting for me. Yeah, it was our final cut, Richard. We can consider bringing it in. We can go look at the deck. I mean, if it ain't broke, but maybe it's doing the job better than something we kept in is doing. All right. Wouldn't mind a 2-drop before turn 2, but this is an easy keep. All right, 2-drop. Thank you. Good work, hero. You're my hero. Pause from Oppo, as I say, is probably Omen. If so, we'll find out. If not, we got to keep in mind, you know, they might have something. But the hero wasn't even on the battlefield, so it was a non-interactive instant, which screamed Omen. I'm going to send in hero, and I'm actually going to drop a familiar here. The scry is not the worst. Oh, we might just go... We might mantle here. If they want to... We could do that. Do we care? I mean, we're about to go, like, familiar into pilgrim into... staggering insight into card drawing, which I guess means, you know, we're happy to trade with the goal at least. We just might want to accept... Yeah, I'm just going to accept this, you know? I would rather protect the future staggering insight familiar, and we'll keep that on top. That's fine. looking like this is maybe a counterspell. We could drop the Liar, knowing that the common 3-mana counterspell does not counter this. I would like another familiar to find a 5th land on top, because a 5th land equals Pilgrim into play the Insightful. But I'm going to just gamble that we draw a 5th land. If we have a natural 5th land on top, we get that play anyway. And if they have Deny, then we can blank them on this turn. Okay, they were playing the Memory Drain, but at least we got that out of hand before we played our seriously important stuff. We'd love to have a Liar, of course, but the thing we really want to protect is our Staggering Insight on a familiar. I don't generally play around Memory Drain, Agumon, because most people don't play it, especially a high-rated player in the 5-1 bracket. It's not a good card. Oh, I didn't notice the scry, though. If somebody wants to let me know how they scried, that could be useful. Here, though, let's start with the familiar attack. I'm going to go ahead and do try for another one here. Again, if they counter this, no big deal. If they don't counter it, we'll get a scry to help us towards the Pilgrim Insight plan. Thank you for the info on scry. So they paused, but of course the... Who do we... Yeah, we want that, actually. Sorry, that was part of the plan. The pause is probably just the Omen Scry, but if that's what they do this turn, that's also, again, good for us, that Omen Scry is what they're spending their mana on turn 5. Now what we want is for them to tap out for a non-flyer on their turn. 2 more to the bottom is also good for us. But they're digging deep. They're very likely to have found something good if they're digging that many cards. Trawler, maybe. We are in the 5-1 bracket, with Oppo doing weird things, which can just scream Trawler. Look at that. All that open mana. It makes me nervous. I'm going to not play into it. Or at least we're going to attack first. I mean, I want to play our stuff, but this is so important. We get this countered, we don't find our aura. So I'm going to end the turn. I'm going to make him do something. Screams Trawler. We probably scream Trawler to them, of course. We're 5-1 and white with white-blue as well. We have no Trawler in our deck. Our big bomb is our Insight, which I'm trying to play to protect. And if we stall, and we get to 7 mana, we can actually have Pilgrim go get Insight and protect with Mantle. All right. Well, we can't stop this from happening this turn. They're going to get 1 card out of it, but then now we have what we're going to try and do with our Fishify, at least. No choices anymore, we gotta try. I'm worried we're gonna get countered, since that's kind of what I've been playing around, but now they've made a play that we can't ignore. We're gonna have to pretend like they don't have it. Okay, fantastic. Woo! We get to Fishify, and if we find a land, we even get to land Pilgrim. If we want. Instead, we'll go Fishify, Goal, and play Leonin. I guess we could keep up tactics if we wanted to try and take out that Pegasus. But now let's just take Leonin. Our Trawler answer is in the yard, which again is why maybe they took this. That's another clue that we're facing a potential Trawler deck. When they had a chance to strip anything out of our hand, even though the Liar wasn't really doing anything to them yet, they picked the Liar, which suggests that they're aware that it might be the only answer we have to something like a Trawler. Also explains why a top player may be going bottom, 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 bottom on Scry. It's not like they had 4 lands in a row. Yarg here probably had a mix of land and spells as they bottomed 4 cards, but if they're aggressively looking for the best card in the format, that would explain that as well. Oh, they memory drained it. That's fair. That's fair. I was thinking they somehow got it out of our hands somewhere else. Maybe our last opponent was playing black and made us discard. Sorry. This is a free attack for Oppo, and we're gonna call the bluff. If they want to use a blessing to take out the familiar, that's cool. That's a little worse because it stays on, but I still don't mind. All right. Now, though, we're going to do our play. We get to Mantle, or Pilgrim looking for our copy of the Staggering, and then get that going. Hope they're out of answers to this. He gets us 1 card, then it's probably going to just square off with the Pegasus, but that's okay too. Actually, we can Tactics and probably get him. So hopefully we'll Tactics our way out of this. Tactics plus Mantle, also nice. Tactics backed up by Mantle. Yeah, D has a point. Normally I Towering Wave. Whenever I have a mill any player option in this format, I tend to self-mill. But since they're digging for what seems like a trawler, we could totally justify milling them. Also, blue-white, not exactly an escape color, so good thought, D. Here we have eyes now on our familiar. Maybe they deny the divine there. No. So now we have Tactics and Mantle. And let's see, is there anything we're scared of a block with? If we send in Leonin, then they can eat it, so we don't want to send in that. Just the familiar. Just the familiar is the answer. Because we don't know we're going to use the Tactics. And Tactics has to be used on Leonin to save it from the Sea Guard, and even then it's a trade. That suggests they're going to block. And the auto tap says they don't have any white cards. So I think we're safe to Tactics here. Okay, they Mantle, but we Mantle, and it's still a trade, right? We get to 5. Yeah, you just Mantle, Mantle, Mantle. All right. It's kind of the equivalent of a limited counterspell war. The combat trick war. We don't care about that too. We are hoping our familiar lives to attack again. Looking good so far. They still have 2 mana or 3 mana up, so not a guaranteed, but looks like we got it. The attack we were hoping for. Not going to offer the Leonin for anything here. All right, I like Prophecy. We'll scry and then see if we want to play Towering Wave Mystic or save it to name it with Prophecy, because we can use this as a draw 2 instead. Definitely scrying that to the bottom. Wayfarer actually not doing much here either. It could also be our draw 2 spell. So let's keep it on top, play the Mystic, and treat the Wayfarer as the card we're going to play to draw 2. And yeah, we know what we're drawing, so I'm going to hold the land. Only so many hits an opponent can take from a 4/6 flying vigilant lifelink card drawing creature before you have inevitability, but frankly, 7 cards we could draw, and if they drop Trawler, we're still dead. Although being able to just straight block a Trawler is partly how you can beat it. Storyteller doesn't get anything back currently, but it might. Let's start with a Wayfarer and draw. Do not care about that at all. I'm really surprised they did that, because it doesn't stop the draw. They went top. That's pretty scary. Top from Oppo. But we got this attack, and still don't have good attacks on the ground, though. Although we can attack now, and if they block, we get to mill. Oh, in fact, block or not block, we'll mill their top. So I like the Wave Mystic here in response to the Scry. Yeah! High five, D! Everybody high five, D. Yeah! We did it. Towering Wave Mystic, obviously better than Dream Trawler. That was awesome. All right, let's get 7. That's true, but it does give us a chance, right? I mean, I hear you, Tryptamine. Tryptamine's pointing out that we have just as much a likelihood of bringing them closer to Trawler as we do milling it. However, if we don't ever mill them, they're going to find it at some point. So at least milling them gives us a chance to put it where we don't want it, which or to put it in their graveyard instead of their library. Yeah, it was the Scry 2 to the top that had us doing that, but everything they were doing was suggestive of that plan. Man, imagine this hand if we have one plains in that pile, and this is stunningly good. Oh my god. Pious into Hero, into Staggering, into Chimera. We could take the chance, but it's not worth it. We just don't know that the top card is a plains, and if we don't get a plains in a handful of turns, we just roll over and lose. So we got to mulligan this, even though it's very close to being about as good of an opener as we could hope for. And we good keep here. We're going to ditch 1 Leonin, and actually we need an island more than anything. Maybe we just ditch a plains. I mean, our hand functions on 2 lands, and if we find an island, we get our Kraken. Plains doesn't help with the Kraken. I'm actually going to be greedy. If they come off slow and we drop a couple of 3/1s that get in for some damage, that's good too. Not expecting it. We're also on the draw, so they're going to have a couple of turns here to set up a defense. Nice, nice. We really want this on a flyer if we can, though. Hero wears the insight way better than a Leonin, but I don't even want to put it on the hero if I can wait. So I'm just going to Leonin now and see what we can do. Also, Leonin great against green-black. Often their early plays are things like Chimeras. All right, so like, or that. Even this at least gets rid of, it's a 1-for-1 that exiles their... Ooh, maybe we Prophecy here to set up our future. At 4 mana, they're likely to play something that messes with the ability here to attack. And we need to find land, so let's scry. Yeah, like bottom here. That was great. To scry away 2 non-lands when we're stuck on 2. Still stuck on 2. Let's go Hero of the Pride. Because we can play that no matter what. And we're going to Leonin of the Lost Pride here. Another Leonin of the Lost Pride. Fantastic. If we can get it to die after the Chain Web is already dead. If they kill it now, we don't get to exile the Chain Web, but let's see. We do have Liar to lock down the Chain Web if we want to use it for that. Ah, sad town. But we're in the 6-1 bracket. Not surprising that Oppo's deck is just straight gas so far. Ours has not been fantastic, but let's draw a couple here and try and get back in this. I know we're on 16 land, but it is unusual to have only 2 this deep into our deck. And, of course, they're challenging us to block that. They don't have anything going on in the yard, though. But we could be racing here. I'm going to take this. Let's see what else they've got. Windraven is just mad at our deck. Windraven is not asking what the deck is. All right, well, we are at least going to draw a land next turn, it seems. We could... It's not going to matter in the face of Poly. What a monster deck by Oppo. There's kind of a chuckle here that we're even still playing. We'll go ahead and play a Wayfarer, though. I think we can almost scoop and move on here. Like, we can't beat Pelucranos having stalled on mana the way we have here. We had a chance if we had come up with land earlier, but this is not going to get it done against one of the top cards in the format. Have trample. I guess we could Liar. Yeah, it feels way out of it. I don't even know what we're doing here that matters. Like, it just all feels too late to matter. We can go Omen and Chump. Actually, Omen surprising Pelucranos with a couple of counters off might not be the worst. I'm gonna Omen, trigger the Wayfarer. We'll create 4 power of blockers. We can even kill Pelucranos if we want. What's Pelucranos's escape clause? 6 others? Yeah, we can eat the spider too. Maybe eat the spider and reduce Pelucranos down a little bit. Yeah, if they want to fight the Wayfarer, that's cool too. Then we can trade for the spider if we want. We're never going to keep the Pelucranos, like, on the battlefield, though, because it can just fight its way to death. But let's make him use resources. I'll kill the... I know, but, like, we can't just take everything forever. I get it. We're probably not going to win this, so I'm not too worried. Like, the fact that we're in it at all, given how this game has gone, makes me be glad about that. All right, so I guess we traded. We made him do that at least, but this is all just sad and not going to be enough. We could go prophecy back. Let's see. I guess we make a storyteller get prophecy. Let's start here. Do we want it even? I mean, what does it even do? We're just saying we don't want to draw a land, so I'm going to decline. I still like having a 3/4 that can block here, but we don't want prophecy on top. We want to try and naturally draw a land. We don't have the mana to wheel spin on prophecy given the situation here. Still feel like maybe I should just be scooping it up, but I'm holding out hope that we are...
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
Seems fair. Now we can play what do we want to play to die to Pelucranos? How about we start with the liar actually, and I don't know, what does it even matter? I feel so like I'm playing a game that's already over. Maybe Wave Rider, then they play Pelucranos, and we have a turn to insight the Wave Rider for a little bit. Congrats on your 7 wins, Oppo. Great deck. I'm going to give it 1 staggering insight to find us a Fishify. Although it looks like they have enough to even fight anyway, so it doesn't even matter, right? And they have 7. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go find a winnable game. No shame in losing to that deck. My gosh. No shame to losing to that deck, especially how ours drew. All right. To the limit. Full count. Bases loaded. Any last looks? Let's make sure we're happy with everything here. We had some last minute cuts, but we want to try Sleep of the Dead? We were curious to see. I mean, if there's ever a time we're going to play in the format, it's here, you know? I think I did. Let's try a Sleep of the Dead. Even if we 6-3 or whatever, that's fine. I want to try it. We've never tried it. What is it better than? That's the problem. Maybe just one of the familiars can go, and we'll try it like this. I've never played it before, and I think this is like the only chance I'm going to have unless we get a similarly aggressive, tempo-oriented blue-red deck or something. Like pack one, pick one, or the choice? What do you mean? What initial choice? Doing so well, the system can't find us an appropriate opponent. We're too good for everybody. We were yeah, what was our last cut? I can't remember what our last cuts were around in that deck. Now that I think about it, maybe chat can remember. All right, you can work with this. Pious into hero into hopefully something to make it all magically awesome. I mean, tactics is a pretty good start on that front. Let's see. Ideally, though, we find something else to do on three besides tactics. A 3-drop creature would be great. Hey, that kind of works. We get to try it, shall we? We can even tactics here for some extra damage, but maybe we just wait and do that with Chimera in play. Anybody want to go for damage here? If we go for damage, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 extra damage. Yeah, we'll wait. 4 is not enough to bother. Oh, Prophecy, where were you? That would have been a perfect play for last turn. But we do get Chimera into Prophecy, or we could do Prophecy Tactics into Chimera. How about that, actually? Here's where we will take a Tactics and then drop the Prophecy and then have Chimera to start bouncing the Prophecy. Oh yeah, sorry, I got the numbers wrong on that. A little bit bigger of a bump. Well, if they're not blocking, we could also just go Chimera here. Yeah, if they're going to give us this, we'll just go Chimera. Means a wasted trigger, but we had our reasons. If everything we have lives through this turn, we're in great shape. If something dies, well, we'll reassess. Yeah, it does confirm we have a trick, but that's why they didn't block, right? I mean, I think attacking Wayfarer into Oracle demonstrated that we had a trick. Oh, Mantle, just a little late. Get to keep crashing, though. We'll use Tactics if we need to. And we even have Mantle backup. I think we'll do Prophecy. I'm expecting to do Tactics Mantle this turn, Mike. And we'll do Prophecy next turn. So now we go Tactics, and then that means we might end up, but let's see, let me think this through correctly. How do we want to do this? We go Tactics on the Wayfarer, Mantle on the hero, or we go Mantle on the hero, pump the Wayfarer, and then it's all good. So we'll go Tactics on the hero. If we go Tactics on the hero, Wayfarer is a 2/2. And we're okay with the trade? Yeah, let's do, but if we do Tactics on the hero, we're trading these off and then saving the hero from the Celebrant. Whereas if we go Mantle on Hero and Tactics on Wayfarer, we win everything, right? I think the way you guys are talking about it, we lose the Wayfarer in a trade. Whereas if we go Mantle Hero and Tactics Wayfarer, don't we just get it all? I guess maybe they get because then the Wayfarer becomes 4 power. Yeah. Right. So oh yeah. Forgot the other bonus. So Tactics pumps the Wayfarer and gets it. Okay, sorry. Yeah. I was thinking it was just 2-1 on our side. Okay. The bottom line is mainly I wanted to not lose any creatures if we're going to use both these spells. And yes, we don't lose either of our creatures if we use both these spells. That's the main thing I needed to figure out. Although they do have the pump there. They can still pump the Oracle, right? Well, we got to do it now. At least they have to pump. Or maybe they're going to do something that we can respond to effectively. I think they're just going to pump. Oh, interesting. Tactics of their own. We can't stop that, so let's just see what happens when that goes down. So then it's everything trades. We could just go everything trades and then drop Mantle. Yeah. In fact, I was kind of... Oh, now it got priced into it, but I think that was correct after all that. Yeah, sorry, I ran out of time. I didn't... You're right, Mike. That was the right play. I just ran out of time. Yeah. Pious Pump gets it done, but I ran out of clock. That's a bummer. Hopefully that doesn't cost us a 7th win. But I like Prophecy here because I don't care if they Mystic. If they want to kill the Mystic, that's fine. Let's go looking. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Liar and Daxos. How do we think of that? I like them both. I think we put Daxos on top and then name Liar with Prophecy. Let's see what they do with their Scry. Yeah, it was sad that I didn't get to that Mantle play in time with the clock running down, but maybe the Mantle will come through for us and prove valuable later. It would have been nice to save the hero, but actually that whole exchange wasn't awful for us, so... And we don't care about Wings of Hubris in our current game state, so that's nice. We get... So we're going to name Liar. And we get Hero Daxos plus Starlit Mantle. Triumph. Pretty darn aggro, but I think we can handle it with the Sleep of the Dead especially. We'll get... We're going to have to Liar next turn, though, so I guess they get a couple of big hits. They're going to get 2 big hits with the hero, and then we'll sleep it. But we're definitely going to cast our Liar next turn and get our cards. Ideally, we find a land so that we have Mantle available. Right on. We do. We're going to take this one, and then we can sleep or liar. No matter what, we're putting some Oppo creatures to sleep here. Big smack incoming, but then hopefully we're under control. We'll go ahead and use the Starlit Mantle here. Daxos is worth it. That is a lot of omens. That's too many omens, although they've all been useful against us. But we're not a typical looking deck in that regard. Ooh, they've got a blessing coming. Yikes. Good to know, I suppose. Not really much we can do about it. So... I guess we liar at least. Let's see, this allows to target creature you control fights up to one target creature you don't control. Both Goal and Daxos represent a trade in that scenario, so I don't mind sending out the Goal or even offering Daxos. Too bad we don't have a white creature to, you know, get all this out of range. But I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. Pin down that hero if we can. Man, if they have, as I say, if this happens to be Pump, I mean, I guess we just at least then we have to Sleep of the Dead afterwards, which would work too. So that wasn't too bad. But Daxos is likely to die. However, then all they have is a tapped 4/3, and we're going to play a Goal and continue to threaten in the air. Certainly they're going to leave at least the 1 on top. The blessing will stay on top, and then the question is, do they leave 1 or 2 on top? But I don't see how an opponent doesn't save the removal here. Oh, sorry, it's not the fight chapter yet anyway. So, yeah, I guess we are going to have to wait on the Goal. How do I gain a life there? Yeah, let's just pass this by and let there be a no-value fight. And then we'll drop our 2 creatures. We drop Goal into hero. I guess he doesn't trigger himself. Is that what happened? Oppo showing pauses, but they do have an Omen of the Forge, so we're not sure what the pausing is about. But now they're looking over their hands, so maybe they got something for the Goal. Excuses, excuses, Tron. I expect you to be perfect. We'll call that a 4th Omen. How about that? All right, they're removing all our stuff, but we still managed to have a couple things around, and we have a sleep that we can bring back at this point. Top. Stop it, Oppo, with the top. Hopefully they're topping like just generic creatures they're hoping to block with, and we can sleep our way to some action here, because we can untap Liar. Ooh. Ah, we did it! We got there, folks. Protection from each converted mana cost other than 3. This is 3, so we can still tap it. Lucky us. Oh, and sleep works. And Fishify works. Wow, coming up Millhouse indeed. Let's see if we just go... let's just go for the sleep tap. Although now we don't get to tap the hero, but we can sleep and fish. If we fish it, they can block, is the thing. But I guess we don't care, right? We can't Liar the hero, though, because we don't have the mana. I will do Fishify on Haktos, though. I was just going to let him block. Does it come back or something? What? Maybe I need to worry about that. But I was figuring let him block, and then we get there next turn. Oh sure, it's free. Gotcha. Sorry, I was still thinking of it as a 6 mana requirement. Good call. So there was no need to give him the freebie there, but now we at least have the potential to Liar something else. And that maybe finds him something, but looking pretty good for us. Let's see what they find here. Cyclops does basically nothing against us as long as we have 2 creatures to attack with. And now we will certainly 0 tap the Liar. There we go. We did it, folks. Well, thank you, Nantuko. What a genius idea to have another draft. Even a little gem grind at the end. Just a little cherry on top. Let me go update that grind in our results. And I'll do this just to make sure I did it. Claim this here prize. Boom. Love it. We're not at 10 yet, or I would open some packs, but we'll get there. Let's be patient. We're about to go back to best of 3, so maybe we'll even get there tomorrow. That was an awesome draft. The draft went great. The games were good. Tough decisions. Well played. Good insights from chat. My brain managed to catch a thing here or there. All told, very fun draft. Very good times. Thanks, Nantuko, for rallying the masses to compel me to draft once more. That was a ton of fun. Hope you all had a great time. Thanks for hanging out on YouTube. We'll catch you in the next draft.